This video is specifically for parents who think their children have unrealistic dreams, like maybe playing professional baseball or being an astronaut to go to the moon, even though they're shutting down the space program. Unrealistic dreams that you as the parent are battling the decision between believing in your child and letting them go for it, also with the realistic aspect of, 1 in a million kids makes it. I don't know how good your odds are, and I'd hate to see you fail. I get this question a lot, actually, because all I do is talk about raising successful children and the strategies that you can implement as a parent to raise a more successful child that reaches their full potential. And my number one principle that I'm always talking about is actually believing and backing up the belief in your child's dreams. And I get some blowback here from parents who don't want to push their kids, not push their kids, but don't want to equip their kids and work with their kids who have these unrealistic dreams. So I thought I would take a minute and I would share some lessons that I learned from my life about pursuing my unrealistic childhood dreams that I actually did not end up making, but what I became when my parents sold out to my dream, even though they probably knew it was unrealistic and I'd never get there. The lessons that I learned and the person I became on that process, I think would be instructive for you to know about. So the first thing that you should know is that my childhood dream, starting at about the age of 12, probably is when I started to really fully realize it, was to play professional baseball. And I actually got kind of close. I played on a high school team, for example, a summer league team that plays second in the nation. I was in the starting lineup on that. That team had 8 players drafted into the professional leagues, professional baseball, and I went on to play Division I college baseball, which is the highest level of collegiate athletes that exist here in the United States. So I was able to do pretty well at the dream. However, I did not end up getting drafted, and I did not sign any contracts to get paid to play the game of professional baseball. But looking back, I realize, as I can now see the whole picture, the whole process I went through, and can gain some perspective, that if I had not been totally sold out, and my parents had not been totally sold out to trying to turn me into a professional baseball player, I wouldn't have learned 90% of what I ended up learning about life, and I wouldn't be, 1/10 the person I am today. And I'm serious about that, and here's why. The thing that a lot of parents don't understand, who've not actually ever tried to accomplish something of unrealistic proportions, like become a professional baseball player or make a drastic achievement like that, is they don't quite understand what the whole process takes and what you have to become on that journey. So here's a couple of examples of some things that you have that I realized from that journey that I wouldn't trade for anything. I wouldn't have traded for a better college education or any of that kind of stuff, which I didn't get a degree, by the way. For example, I learned about mentorship. My parents hired me a professional coach at the age of 12 who taught me about mentorship and taught me about the process of how to actually hit a baseball. My conditioning coaches taught me what it's like to keep working out after you puke, not just once, but twice, several times a week, and what it's like to push yourself beyond limits you normally thought possible. I learned what it's like to go up against someone who can throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and be scared to death up there because you're unequipped, and in front of 1,000 fans, you still have to go up there and face those fears, learn from the experience, fail, and then go back and work on it and work on it and work on it with the help of mentors and teammates and a bunch of people surrounding you who believe in success and believe in winning, and then go back into that environment and have a win. I learned what it's like to overcome. And there's so many lessons like this that I ended up learning in this process that you can't get when you tell your children don't do that dream because it's unrealistic. And the reason that you don't get those experiences, you cannot give your child those experiences of what it's like to have a mentor and being, getting all that stuff I just talked about, is because if baseball hadn't have been my passion, would I have been motivated to go up against the guy who could throw so hard he could, felt like he could kill me with a baseball? Would I have been willing to overcome that fear? Only if the motivation was strong enough, right? Well, That's why it's so important to have a passion and pursue the passion, because the passion makes you more resilient to obstacles that will come in your way that you will have to overcome. It makes you put in more time because you want it badly. And in the process of putting in more time, failing and overcoming and all that, you become something greater that you can't become by going for some average desk job that you're going to get by getting some four-year degree somewhere. You don't learn that same lesson in a college educational setting that on average, that I would learn, and I did learn, by trying to become a professional baseball player. Even though I didn't make it in the professionals, and maybe that four-year college degree guy now has a middle-class job somewhere, and he made it. His parents, I'm sure, feel really safe about and really good about how they steered their child towards something that was safe and non-risky, and he's doing well. Well, I would argue that I did better, not trying to compare, but that I became a better person through my process than the four-year college degree guy. And the final reason that I think this is so crucial, that my parents believed in throwing away school and education and everything to pour efforts into turning me into a professional baseball player that I really wanted to do and was willing to participate in that process, versus the standard go to school, get a job type of career, is that when my dream ended and I realized I'm not going to be playing professional baseball, what I still had with me was all of the understanding that came from the process of trying to become great, watching other people become great next to me, an understanding of what it took, the amount of effort it takes to make yourself better, the ability to overcome those fears and all those sorts of things. And I was able to take all of that, almost in its entirety, and plop it into my new life, which is now business. I can take all those same things, 99% of it, and translates over into business. And now I have businesses that have now generated over, at the time of this recording, over $10 million of sales of products and services over the internet via websites. And that's certainly no billionaire, I'm no Fortune 500 CEO, but I do that kind of business from my home and get to spend time with my family. And I would not have been able to do that if I didn't have all of that stuff I learned from baseball that could translate over, the overcoming fear, the overcoming criticism, the willing to fail and fail and fail. Like one of my websites took 10 total failures before it became profitable. Most people are not willing to put in that type of effort because they don't understand the process. So, to any parent who is out there with a child with an unrealistic dream, and you're thinking about, no, maybe I should just have them go into the military, or maybe let's just steer them away from trying to be a professional skateboarder so that they can go to school and get a good job, because I don't like that. Well, I would say that you are robbing your child of the opportunity to learn about to learn what the process looks like to become something great, and you are removing them from that and putting them on the process of how to become average. That's a decision you're going to have to make. Maybe my parents' path was a little bit more risky, but I would rather, every day, I would rather, with no debate whatsoever, be on a path towards my passions, even if I'm failing and not seen as my parents as successful or making it or have a good cushy job, than be somewhere that's not full of passion and I'm not excited to get up every morning and do, like I see 99% of the population get up at 4 or 5 a.m. every morning and drive off on our freeways to go do. I'm passionate about this. I believe that dreams are the way to make our lives most fulfilling as possible. And I believe that if we tell our children their dreams are unrealistic, I don't know if there's anything more damaging that you can do to them. There probably is, but it's at the top of the list. So, as you go about this week, the rest of today, think about these two processes. They are two distinct paths. You have to pick one. You can't have both. I would challenge you to think about your beliefs on this issue and come up to your own conclusions. I've picked mine. I don't suspect my children will disagree with me either. But that's up for every family to decide for their own, and I wanted to give it to you as some food for thought today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you got some value out of it, because even watch the video again. I think it could change your life if you're not currently thinking this way, and I'd invite you to consider this possibility. Over and out for today. We'll talk to you soon.